first GenXers.
Poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. Hope you're having a chill day. My name's Bob Ross, and I'm going to be hosting today's episode of Cheap Pop Podcast
Yeah,
right here on
your
NPC.
chill is about your
All
chill
right,
is about
enough
to
of this
end,
shit
folks.
right here. Enough of this.
We are
Enough of
here to
this.
spoil your chill.
No, no, there is no
Uh,
chill. We need
we are
we
now
need some
live on
hype
NPR.
today.
Anyway.
No, we listen. We need some hype today
All
because
right, look.
this episode is going to be off the chain. Come on now,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Every
I
episode is
know.
off the chain.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
but no.
but more so the fact today, though.
I feel you. I feel you. All
Right?
right, so today, guys,
Yeah.
if you haven't been living under a rock, you should know what we're about to talk about. So let me give you this disclaimer right here.
Mm-hmm.
We at the Cheap Pop Podcast are about to discuss Daredevil Born Again, or at least the first two episodes that dropped on Wednesday. If you do not wish to hear spoilers, because we are going to be talking about it in full detail. If you do not wish to hear spoilers, I would suggest that you either skip forward if you're watching the replay or going ahead and mute us for about the next 20 minutes or so of the show as we
go get
continue
yourself
to
a
discuss
refreshing
this.
beverage.
Yeah. Go ahead, go get some McDonald's. Come back. By the time you get back, we'll be back to talking about other stuff. But right
Or cook
now,
a healthy dinner, please.
yes.
It's
We
Sunday,
care
for
about you.
God's sakes.
We care
Yeah.
about you.
Jesus.
And we understand you're skipping dinner at grandma's, Sunday dinner at grandma's to watch us, and we appreciate that. Anyway, all right, so let's dig into this, fellas. Daredevil Born Again. I will say this as an overall, and then I'll let you guys dig into some of your favorite moments of the first two episodes. Um, Definitely a gory vibe that I did not expect. Like to an extent, a lot of this is a little bit darker than even the Netflix series was.
Yeah,
So for Disney to give the green light to this and be good with it, I I'm I because I'm here for this ride. I am
yeah.
here for this ride. From the opening scene with Foggy to
Okay.
to
So
that. Go ahead.
we should set this up for the folks who haven't seen it and are not worried about getting it spoiled.
All right.
Okay. First 10 minutes, Matt, Foggy, and Karen are all out over at Josie's having a night. There's a retirement party for a cop happening at Josie's,
Chief of the
which is
police. Yep.
yeah, which is the bar from the Netflix series that they all go to. It's the
Yep.
dive bar. Um, Bullseye creates a distraction that requires Matt to do the change. Everyone, Foggy and Carrie both know Matt is Daredevil at this point,
Yeah.
and he goes to save the day, only to find that it was a distraction, and that's a distraction by Bullseye. He goes swinging back as fast as he can to Josie's, only to arrive just too late to stop Bullseye from center mass tapping Foggy in the chest.
Okay, now that scene, that
Mm-hmm.
he's standing there, he's on his phone, he's talking to Karen, and all of a sudden he's not there anymore. Like I hate to say it
Yeah.
like that, but it wow.
Yeah.
Like even knowing the setup, you're like, even when I saw Bullseye taking aim, I'm like, nah, it ain't Foggy. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna randomly shoot somebody else. Like
Yeah.
and nope,
And yep.
center mass.
And then uh Daredevil proceeds to knock Bullseye off of his perch. Bullseye proceeds to go into Josie's, tosses smoke grenades,
Yep.
starts capping police
Oh,
officers
he had already
off lead.
iced two other dudes to the dome
Yeah,
before he even got taken out of
right.
his spot.
And then we get into
Zane's
the,
favorite scene.
yeah, the the fight scene.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you think of Daredevil fights, hallway fight scenes, forget about it. This is them going
I
at
told you. I told you.
No,
I
you just
told
got
you.
somebody to agree with you. I
Yeah.
just didn't necessarily agree that it's better than the hallway fight scene,
Well,
but I do
we're
agree
gonna
that
we're
it's
gonna
up there.
we're
One
gonna
A, one
talk
B.
about why it is.
Okay.
So we're going upstairs in the fight, in the narrow stairwell going up the fight. Okay,
Mhm.
and while all this is going on, we're getting cutaways from action to Karen trying to keep Foggy going on. Ambulances are on their way. You know, people are trying to help Foggy and everything. And
Police are doing police
meanwhile,
things.
yeah, police, first responders are doing first responder things.
Yep.
Ambulance isn't there yet,
Yep.
but um, the police are, called it in already
Yeah.
on the police van, so it's getting priority over 911 in that way.
A
And
bar full of
meanwhile,
cops getting shot
yeah,
up. Yeah, that's priority number one for
yeah,
911.
and um, Matt is tossing his billy club up the stairs, bouncing it off walls, railings, step, like he's the Captain America of your choice with the shield. Okay. And Bullseye is rapid firing throwing knives like he's got them stored in some kind of bag of holding. And by the time that they go up like 4 or 5 flights of stairs and they burst out onto the roof, Daredevil's got Bullseye beaten up pretty badly, and Matt is looking like a damn pincushion.
Yep.
He has like
Yep.
about half a dozen knives sticking out of him all over.
Oh, it's yeah.
It
Saint.
was, yeah.
See,
Sorry,
see,
your thoughts,
see,
sir.
No, no.
see. Look. Like I said, the way that, well, first of all, and no disrespect to the original season of Daredevil, the infamous hallway fight scene that has inspired the game Sifu.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
you
Well,
know, but
let's give credit where credit was due.
yeah,
Daredevil took that scene from the raid. I
yeah,
think
Yeah.
the raid did
Yeah.
it first.
yeah,
Which,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No, there was
Well,
also a
I mean,
version of it
just
in Doom as well, or not Doom, but Judge Dredd, the one with
yeah,
Colin Farrell.
yeah.
yeah,
But
okay.
please,
But the reason, in fact, is that it was the way that it was shot. It was very, it was very cinematic.
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Like you knew what was going on because I mean, you were getting off. These guys were just getting laid out. Like
yep,
you're seeing it, but you're not seeing it, but you're seeing the results.
Yeah.
yep.
And
Well,
that is what was really crazy. And then you're catching a couple of oh, like somebody standing on the phone, and next thing you know they got a knife in their fucking throat. I
Yeah.
yep,
mean, it
yep.
was just like ooh. and then you had to do one of these, like, oh shit, like one of those, like, because I had those kind of moments right
Yeah,
there, like, oh my God, did he just
Yep.
do that? Like, it was that kind of reaction as
okay,
opposed to the fight,
yeah,
in the
I feel you.
hallway, like,
There
yeah, like,
was a
yeah.
okay. So here's my takeaway. I didn't have issue with anything about the fight, but if I had to nitpick, okay, and that's what I would be doing in comparing that scene to the fight scene in the hallways. I would be nitpicking. The only issue that I had was the exact thing that everybody found so cool, which is the fact that the primary parts, a lot of the fight scene took place in smoke or off screen.
Right.
And I love the fact that it focused on the collateral damage of the situation, so to speak, as opposed to them specifically fighting. A lot, and I will give turn whoever directed Daredevil, I give them much credit for that, because a lot of Marvel fight scenes in general, and especially in the MCU, focus solely on the two people fighting and not a lot of the collateral damage that's happening around them. This fight scene focused more on the collateral damage than it did on the actual fight until
Right.
with an exception for the very beginning, and then once they bust out onto the roof.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
but
so
in the
so
mind's eye, though, in the mind's eye, you can remember
oh yeah, I saw all the action.
how, like, no,
Now
you can in your head.
here's where I'll say. Here's where I say. Here's why, and this is why for me, the hallway fight scene sits just above. And I'm not going to reference anything involving Marvel. There is an
Okay,
old movie by a martial artist, right? Oh God, I'm remembering. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie, but it starred a martial artist by the name of Tony Jaa.
Yep.
Okay, and there is this sequence in which this man ties two elephant bones to his forearms and then proceeds to break a limb on every individual person that comes at him. And there's about 45 dudes that come at him. And he literally, slowly and methodically goes through and breaks an arm or a leg with each one of them. To me, that was the level that Daredevil hallway scene was at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why for
Okay.
me it sits
I know that.
slightly above
Yeah.
the this one. Not It's not like there's this large gap where I'm saying it's that much better. I'm saying it sits slightly above it for me because I like that type of fight scene compared to the more mental fight scene that took place in that one. Is I think they got around a lot of the gore of the Netflix series with
Yep.
a lot of that fight by having a lot of the actual battle in that hall in that stairwell take place off screen. But did I love it?
I
I will say that I was sitting there giving the same reactions. Oh my God! Oh what the fuck? Like yeah, yeah. I give it like yeah.
I
And the saddest thing
totally
about it is I don't think it's going to be the best fight scene of the entire series. Go on, Dave.
Oh, I
okay.
doubt that
No,
seriously.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree that it fell into defeating the first rule of storytelling, which is show, don't tell.
yeah,
I totally get that on there.
yeah.
Um, but um, at the same time, let's get to the climax of that fight. Let's cut to the
Yes.
chase here. Okay. Matt has defeated Bullseye. He's giving
Bullseye.
him the beatdown. Okay. And then we cut to Matt listening to Foggy's heartbeat slow, then stop.
As Karen's sitting there screaming
As
and
he
begging.
Foggy dies in Karen's arms, Matt lets out the cry of rage that should
Guttural
have
scream.
been that should have been Vader's cry of rage in Revenge of the Sith when he wakes up.
Uh,
Okay, and then tosses Bullseye off of a four-story roof like a
And gave
week
zero
like
fucks about it.
Bullseye was a week old bag of garbage, and
oh, that was one of the best scenes to me in that
And that
entire sequence.
and the very next thing, right after Bullseye hits like a bag of wet cement, um, nearby, Foggy, and we can see he's still conscious because he's looking right at Karen and Foggy as the ambulances arrive and
Yeah,
the police are taking him into custody. That's when Matt realizes he has crossed the line,
yeah.
and he takes off his mask and he tosses it down to the street right
Well,
next to.
you're skipping one important part. After, right after, because first of all, just to set up a visual for y'all,
Yeah.
the scene they're close up on Matt. You see him kind of take the body and turn with it, and then they focus to outside where you see all four stories, and you just see the body fly off like a bird, just wee,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and fall like a rock.
Yeah.
But the moment before Matt he starts crying. You could see he realizes that he's done something he didn't want to do. He takes off the hat, and as he takes off the hat, the commissioner, the retiring cop, comes through the door and looks at him and says, "Matt,"
Oh,
and he
yeah, yeah. I forgot
realizes,
about that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Jerry now knows Matt's identity too.
yes,
Okay.
and then and then that's when he just tosses the
Yeah.
helmet and go and
And
cue intro.
yeah, yeah, and that intro, holy shit. The symbolism of that intro, because it's much like the Netflix intro title card, but instead we're getting um, sculptures of the iconic Manhattan skyline, Lady Justice, and all these other aspects of Matt's life, even the Daredevil persona, cracks start forming in those sculptures and they start falling apart. And then out of all that crumbled statuary, it all starts coming together like a T-1000 and reforms into Daredevil.
Like it's
And that
Yeah.
is so symbolic.
the one thing I have to say. And this isn't
Hmm.
about the intro. That was very well
Right.
said, Dave. When they cued to intro,
Hmm.
my brain went, "That's just the start." Like literally,
Yeah.
my brain thought we were like halfway through the episode,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh wow, okay, yeah, I'm ready for this ride. Let's go,
Yeah.
let's go." You
And
know,
then, yeah. And right after the intro, we get a time skip 1 year later. And we find out that Matt has moved on. He hasn't been Daredevil for a year.
yeah,
There have been other vigilantes, which is important.
yep.
That
White
comes
Tiger.
into play. Yep. But he's moved on. He teamed up to form a new law partnership with a former DA, and it's the exact opposite of Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. This
Yeah,
is a high legal shop. This isn't a storefront anymore. I mean, we're talking serious rental that they do not accept baskets of fish that your clients are paying you in.
yeah.
So, um, and everything has changed. And then Matt has to go to the victim deposition
Yeah,
at the accumulation of Bullseye's trial.
yeah.
And Bullseye's just sitting there in his prison oranges, and Matt is talking about the impact, and it's so sad. Bullseye's just like, yeah.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
That
find
sound
out,
like some villain shit right there, bro.
yeah,
It was, man.
and
It
and
was.
he and we find out that Bullseye's count that night was 11 bodies, one Foggy, 10 cops,
Like,
and
yeah.
yeah, and so he's got 11 life sentences
Consecutive.
consecutively.
Yep.
Yep,
Like that's insane.
yep,
That's insane.
and
They like I said, that scene was very well done. That also reveals to us that Matt has not spoke to Karen in almost
Yep.
a year.
Karen,
Um,
Karen left for San Francisco. She's
yeah,
doing the legal thing on the West Coast, which is fine. I understand it, but I can also see, like, Matt, if you're not going to be protecting Hell's Kitchen, why the hell are you staying in Manhattan?
true.
Okay, and here's where the timeline gets a little bit confusing in there, and it doesn't help that we don't know when She-Hulk Smash happens in this timeline, because
True.
it would have been better for Matt to move to San Francisco, because that's just a quick puddle jumper down for a booty call.
Down for
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I just can't see no Daredevil, no Hell's Kitchen.
yeah, and
yeah.
that's where I'm conflicted, because originally, in the storyline they're basing this off of, Matt moves to San Francisco at some point and becomes Daredevil there. So, but it is what it is. Um, it's how they're setting it up, and then we get to Vanessa Fisk laying down the law for the five families of Manhattan, the five mafia families.
Yeah.
She is quoting them chapter and verse about who is exempt from taxation, who where taxation is supposed to happen. She is telling the leaders of the mafia, this is how you play nice. This is what you agree to. And everyone is there like, yes, Mrs. Fisk.
Hmm.
Okay. And then we find out that Wilson is back from, he comes in, he's not wearing white anymore either. He goes through his collection of, first of all, yeah, he, for his breakfast, he has an omelet that he's made himself, but it's an all egg white omelet. And then he goes to his closet, and he's going through the suits like he normally does. He runs his hand past every black suit and settles on the white suit, the single
Of
white suit
course.
that he owns. And he shows up at the end of Vanessa's meeting and kind of sucks all of the oxygen out of the room in regards to respect that they have for her.
Yep.
And
Unfortunately.
that leads into the other absolutely fantastic part about this what the season is shaping up to be. This is about how to move forward when the life you had has been shattered. Is it possible to repair it? Can you move forward? Because it's not just Matt's story of moving forward,
It's Kingpins
it's
as well.
Wilson Fisk.
Yep.
Because Vanessa is not happy about stuff.
Yeah.
And they end up going to a
Marriage
marriage
counselor.
counselor
Yep.
who gets revealed later on that the marriage counselor just happens to be Matt's new
Matt's
girlfriend.
girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a fun reveal there. I was
that
like,
was a great reveal. Yeah,
oh my
Oh,
God. Okay.
yeah,
that right there was just like,
yep,
okay, this just
So
got a little bit complicated.
yeah. It
so
got
jumping
very
back to
complicated. Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Jumping back to what I feel was like a critical point of episode one is you have the conversation that happens between Matt
Yes,
and Wilson
and
Fisk
this
in the diner.
in the diner, and they do the Hell's Kitchen reminiscing about a diner that had shut down in
Yep.
between Netflix and MCU. In there, they're talking and they go through and as I have said, as I told friend of the show Jamil yesterday when I was talking with him, catching up with him, you could not cut the tension in that diner scene with Wolverine's claws.
No shit.
That's
Yeah.
how goddamn thick it was
That it
in
was.
there. And it ends with mutual. Wilson is like, no more
Mutual
vigilantism. Mutual threats. It's a
Yep.
mutually assured destruction. Because guess who's now the mayor?
Well, he hadn't won yet. He
Oh,
told
that's
him
right. Yeah.
that was before the election.
That's
he
right.
told him, "I'm
That's right.
going to win.
Yeah, the
I'm
election
going to
was.
be the mayor, and when I
Yeah.
am, Like
Yeah.
vigilanteism, yeah. Y'all friend
Yeah.
you and your friends in a mask, yeah. Y'all got to go.
Yeah.
To sum it up,
Speaking of, you know, real life politics in, you know, a convicted criminal as a mayor of New York,
that's well.
and Fisk got, Fisk ends up, he was, he was able to win it without the support of the police union. Because
Yeah,
remember, all his shit as the kingpin, he had a lot of cops killed.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
directly, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's why there was a complete revolt the minute he was elected. With,
yeah.
with
There's a
the commissioner wanted the police commissioner was resigning. All the
Yep,
cops were going to resign. Like nobody wanted
yep,
to work under fucking Frisk.
yeah.
But
Fisk,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. And so Fisk's first day, we let's go to episode
episode
two, which
yeah,
is just as crucial,
yeah.
and we see the aftermath of Fisk getting elected in there, where he's in the office,
Yep.
and he is speaking to the new police commissioner, who is going to walk, by the way,
Yeah.
and then Fisk low key blackmails the new police commissioner to stay on with some photos of a kid that the commissioner's wife doesn't know about.
That I have to give it to you. Before I turn this over to Saint, I have to give it to you. That was one of the slickest and most gangster fucking moves.
Yep.
There was no threat. There was no voice. There was no
All,
raising of the voice. It was just,
all
yeah, that
implication.
sandwich shop? Yeah, that sandwich
Yeah,
shop out on the other side of town. And he just
so
lifts up the
good.
paper and the picture's just there. And he's
It's
just like,
there. Yeah,
yeah,
so
man.
good.
Like that
Yeah,
sandwich shop, such good
yeah,
sandwiches, man.
yeah.
I think you're
Exactly.
gonna stay on though. Like
Yeah,
I was just like,
yeah. Yeah,
oh my
exactly.
god.
And then he goes, request for increased overtime pay denied.
Denied.
A request for increased cadet academy denied. And just shuts down everything that the police commissioner was wanting
Oh,
for everything in there. And holy shit, that was just such a boss move. Okay,
okay.
this is the new Slick Willie. Okay,
Slick Willie.
and and Saint and Kev know exactly who I'm talking about. I ain't talking about Willie Clinton.
Uh,
No, no.
oh, oh my
Look,
No.
goodness,
look,
yes.
this
All right,
look,
Saint, your thoughts.
Yeah,
look, my point is this, man. We knew right off the bat that, Wilson Fisk was pretty much broken down after the events of Hawkeye. So,
and
that,
Echo.
And
yeah.
Echo, yeah.
And yeah, and Echo, and
And
that's
they bring
just,
that up in the diner scene. He's like,
Yeah,
didn't they shoot you in the face or something? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
but
But
go on.
but
And,
that but that was a one-off combat. They never really
Yeah,
say how how his eye is back
yeah,
to normal. So, but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, they'll probably get into that,
they'll
but
get into it. Yeah,
the thing about it is that, like I said, reborn again, born again, they're on their way, back to where they should be or want to be at, and of course, there's going to be a lot of conflict. Wilson Fisk is, he's literally broken. I mean,
yeah.
he's like literally
He has
I'm
all the
not
power.
fucking with you,
He has
like.
all the power, but none of what he was expecting to have in terms of fulfillment, shall we
yeah,
say? Because Vanessa
Correct.
was his fulfillment.
yes.
Yeah,
When he
Okay.
no
had
sense.
her love, he was complete.
Yeah,
Now,
Oh,
not
yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
The ruling New York is his purpose.
Yeah,
Vanessa is his fulfillment, his
yeah.
mm,
reason.
And
granted.
yeah,
Um,
go on.
real quick, I just want to go ahead and say, folks, want to go ahead and give a shout out to the one and only Sijante in the
Always
building,
lovely, ma'am.
What's up?
the one and only moderate diva in the building. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always tapping in and making us live, keeping it live for us.
Yeah,
But yeah, this whole thing, and then the marriage counselor thing, that's a
yeah.
real nice touch.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
that it was and here's the thing. Um, Disney kept all of the stuff that made Daredevil great.
Yeah.
All of the dialogue tension, all
Yep.
of the action sequences, all of the stakes. The only thing that they're not doing is they are not doing the blood.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not
it's
as
like
bloody.
what
Yeah.
it's like how I described the the Sammy KO match
Match.
at Elimination
Or
Chamber.
yeah.
It was brutal, but no blood.
Blood. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it didn't need blood in order to feel as brutal as it did.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I would say yes, this show accomplishes that a lot because, like I said,
Yeah.
the tone is as much as the fights are less bloody, the tone seems to be darker
Yes.
than it was in the Netflix movie for sure. Or
Because
not a movie, but Netflix show for sure.
because
Oh yeah,
when
that was definitely
yeah,
that was definitely a little dark.
Yeah.
because yeah, I mean, we're getting into two broken men going at it with each other. And
Uh,
that's when the fights are the hardest. That's when everything gets put out on the line. And oh, the other part of episode 2, Matt gets a new client.
yes, I was just going to bring that up. I was just going to talk about that. The
Yeah.
trial of Hector Ayala,
Yep. So
otherwise
we first
known
meet,
as
yes,
Go ahead.
and they do open episode 2 with a tribute to the actor who tragically passed away after his scenes were filmed, but before the release. So we have to give him his flowers on that. But we first meet Hector going down the subway, going back home. He's getting onto the subway platform, and he sees two dudes starting to shake down a third guy in there. They're just about to start tuning him up, and Hector comes up, like, hey, what are you doing?
And yep,
He's
gets
not,
in your
he's
face.
not in anything. Yeah, and so he does the Good Samaritan routine. The two dudes say, stay out of it, this isn't your business. Hector, I'm making it my business.
Yep,
The fight ensues. It's 2-on-1, and Hector's handling himself pretty good.
yep. Oh yeah, he
Then-
was.
Yeah, and then Hector's scuffling with one guy is knocked down and getting back up. Hector's scuffling with the other one, does a toss, and tosses him right into the
Ooh.
path of the sea line coming down.
The subway. Yep.
Yep.
That
Um,
was
BART
that was
drivers.
that was a good listen.
yeah.
Of all the hits that have been hit by Subway, that shit was quick. Like
It
Um,
reminded me of that one
I-
from Final Destination, the girl from Final
No,
Destination.
I rank it up there with House of Cards. And
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
know, you know. Okay.
But-
oh,
But
Yeah.
but unfortunately,
but
Go
the
ahead.
thing is that the second tough dude gets back up and now announces he's NYPD,
yep,
pulls the
Draws
badge
the
and the gun. He didn't identify himself
Nope.
when Hector started to
at
intervene.
no point earlier did they
Yeah.
interject themselves. Or did
Interject
they-
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Matt is down at the precinct for a DUI case in there talking with, I get one of the ADAs now about this, and he overhears the interrogators getting set to tune Hector up in the interrogation room. They
started
leave.
doing it too.
Yeah, they leave. Matt goes in to introduce himself. Matt uses his lie detection and hears that Hector's telling the truth about it and takes the case pro bono.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's what Matt Murdock do.
Yeah, that's what Matt Murdock do. And Matt's partners are like, what the hell are you doing? This isn't a case for us. We are defending a cop killer
Yeah,
in a city that is on the edge from decreased police capacity right now and all this stuff. And we find out that former police commissioner Jerry is now Matt's lead investigator. And Matt has Jerry go investigate Hector because he knows Hector's lying about something or not telling the full truth. It's just not about the incident.
Right.
And so Jerry goes to Hector's house, talks with his wife a little bit, says, hey, can you get blah 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 blah, and and where's Hector's good suit so he doesn't have to appear in his prison oranges in trial, and we find out that the marriage is on the rocks and stuff, and so Jerry goes into the bedroom and snoops for a little bit and finds the crate under the bed. He pulls it out, lifts open the lid, and there's the white tiger costume and the pendant. And so Matt now knows that Hector is White Tiger.
Yeah.
And he goes to confront Hector about it on the prison phone, visit phone, which, okay, that is seriously the only mistake. Matt, that is stupid. That is lawyer 101.
Yeah.
Okay, you do not talk about crime shit on a phone that is being monitored.
Yep.
And of course, it gets back to the DA somehow. Either the DA does their own investigation or they get the recording. And now Matt goes absolute fucking Clarence Darrow brilliant in the judge by motioning to exclude all evidence of Ayala's identity as the White Tiger because it's inflammatory.
Yeah.
It has no bearing on the situation because he was not in costume when he confronted the two officers, and he's scoring off against this hand-picked DA on this case, not an ADA, the DA.
The DA, right.
Like,
This is a big case.
Yeah, in Law and Order terms, this is, DA Schiff, instead of telling Jack and the rest of the ADAs what to go do and trying to inspire them, this is Schiff going into the court and prosecuting the case.
Which has actually happened a few times on Law and
Yeah,
Order.
I know.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's big, and Matt wins the argument.
Yeah, Matt ends up winning the argument, excluding everything. I'll say it's good.
One last thing, and then cut to a scene where Jerry and Matt are talking, and Jerry's all like, "Why did you do that?" And more importantly, why are you taking the case? Are you taking this to defend Hector or to defend yourself?
They could be one and the same.
Exactly.
Could be one and the same. All right.
Two things can be true.
Yeah. I want to say, Saint, your thoughts on the whole Hector Ayala storyline.
Listen, the only thing I'm enjoying is nice to see another character introduced from pretty much the
comic.
I would say the comics, but also the superhero squad. I mean, not the superhero squad, but the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I forgot which Spider-Man animated which one was that?
I think he's currently in Friendly Neighborhood. But
yeah, no, but I'm talking about one of the shows that was
I got you. Yeah.
That was in the Disney. So, some of the kids might be familiar because I know the kids are going to watch some of that. But, just with the familiarity.
Oh,
of
any parent that's doing their job ain't gonna let no kid watch Born Again.
And that's why a lot of kids will probably watch Born Again.
Yeah, exactly. But
no, 100%. Like I agree. It brought me to, again, one of my favorite scenes of the first two episodes, because anybody that's done anything involving acting knows that one of the hardest things to convey is emotion. In regards to through simple acts. There's a scene where basically, for those of you who wondered, y'all said that those two guys were roughing up a guy. What happened to that guy? Well, they addressed that in the episode as well. As at the end of the episode, Matt actually finds the guy. and gets
Yeah.
him out of his apartment before the cops were coming
Right.
to kill him.
Yep.
Right?
And
And
the surviving cop starts beating up on the blind man.
yeah, so the surviving
And
cop,
Matt, yeah,
yeah,
Matt,
he beats him up, and Matt he gets Matt in a, let's say, a vulnerable position.
yeah,
Okay, and Matt allows him to, because we all know this is in Daredevil. Like this
yeah,
dude could have iced both those cops in a matter of seconds if he wanted to in the first place. He
yep,
allows them to get him into this compromising position where this cop has a gun to his forehead. And the
yep,
reason why I bring us specifically to this moment is because there's a split second where the guy, right before the guy puts the gun up to Matt's head, where you hear Matt go, "Please don't do this." Like
yes,
he doesn't want, like he completely does not want to do what he knows he's about to have to do.
yep,
And from there, well,
yeah.
Daredevil
From there,
kicks in, and yeah, he beat the
yeah,
living snot out of both those guys and
right.
realized exactly what he had just done. Not as Daredevil,
As Matt Murdock.
as Matt Murdock.
Yeah. Now,
Uh,
again, we all know that Matt is going to have some plausible excuses for how he was able to do that.
yeah,
He's a son of a boxer.
yeah,
He continues training,
yeah,
on the bag in everything, and dot. So all we have right now is like, wait a second. Okay, that sounds right, but it opens that door just a bit,
100%.
and
Like,
yeah,
and it's the thing about it is, if they didn't show us anything, the episode ended there. So as far
correct.
as we know, the Matt could have made it out of the apartment, and they might think that the guy that lived there did that to those cops, and that's where it
Well,
comes up.
except for the cop himself, who knows that it was Matt that tooled him up.
But didn't he end up killing both?
No, he
No, I
just
thought he
left.
snapped his neck.
I thought
I
he I
thought he
thought
did
he
some.
yeah I
I
thought he
thought he
killed
did
both of
him
them.
dirty.
Okay, that's something that I missed.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I
he
have to
Okay,
he.
rewatch it, but I could have swore he killed both them cops.
I
Uh,
heard a,
I
you
will
know.
I will defer to your judgment. No, no,
he
I
no.
will. No, it was just the one cop. It was just the
Yeah.
one cop because
I don't think he just knocked him out. No, I think he did them. I think he did them
Or should
both
I say,
dirty.
or should I
To
I
be
say this?
honest,
I
If
will.
he didn't kill him, they're gonna be in the hospital for a while. Like
Yeah,
they ain't gonna be
I
talking to
will
nobody
defer
for a
to
long
your
while.
sucking through a
Yeah.
straw
judgment. Yeah,
But
yeah,
but anyway, but
because they
needless to
sure
say,
ain't talking.
that's how they left it there, and I believe we have to wait till when next Wednesday, correct? This
yeah.
upcoming Wednesday before
Tuesday.
Tuesday is the release schedule, and that's going to be like Tuesday midnight.
Okay,
So
so it'll be 9 p.m.
um,
West Coast time.
no, they Disney Plus. I think that they've got it on. It's still going to be midnight West Coast
Yeah.
time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Thank
um,
God 2K didn't
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
uh, uh,
So that was that was
yeah,
a brutal but beautiful start to bringing the defenders in. And more importantly, we also learned some of the stuff that happened in MCU New York. We find out some of the stuff that Spider-Man's been up to because Matt was representing Spider-Man or representing Peter Parker
yeah.
um,
Mhm.
and in No Way Home, and we catch up on a lot of that stuff. So the timeline apparently is um, the prologue in episode 1 happens around Christmas time because Fisk get oh no yeah no I don't know when it goes on, but the timeline is that prologue happens pre Hawkeye, pre Echo,
Okay.
and then um, the series starts up uh, just before the events of Brave New World.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
how they're fitting it into the greater Marvel universe. And we have reports that everyone in the Defenders is down to return.
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter has said she's good to go. Mike Coulter has said she's good to go. And I know we hate on him,
Yeah.
but Finn Jones has indicated that he's good to return as Danny. And our boy Jamil, in the conversation I had with him, he brought up some good points about Danny in the Iron Fist show. In
Here's
that,
the thing about it. I'm
the-
invested as dude as Danny. Like, not to
yeah,
cut you off. I'll let you go in just a second. I'm invested as dude as Danny. So like bringing in somebody else would kind of jar my experience. But go on.
well, but at the end of Iron Fist season 2, it's Colleen who's the new Iron Fist.
Right. True. True.
Right.
It's not him.
So, which, hey, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But our buddy talked about the responsibility really lies on the showrunner Scott Buck,
Right.
who gave us the Inhumans. He was the show writer for Daredevil. He was the show writer for season 8 of Dexter. You remember Dexter, the series everyone loved, and then just face planted the series finale in the last 15 minutes?
Okay. I'm gonna say
So,
this.
it was more. I agree with Jamil on this. Let me finish this off. I agree with him in that this is uh, Finn Jones' performance as Iron Fist was more of a Scott Buck problem than it was a Finn Jones problem in
Fair
terms
enough.
of writing, in terms of not giving Finn the time to do the training. Because if you look at Luke Cage season 2, where they have the episode that's basically Heroes for Hire,
Yeah.
Danny is much more Danny in that point in time in there. So it's not exactly the actor, it's the
It's
creator.
the showrunner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this real quick before we let Saint have the last word and jump into commercial.
Oh
But,
no, continue, please.
Oh yeah.
No. We're gonna jump. We're gonna go ahead and jump into commercial. We're about an hour in. So we're gonna go ahead
What?
and jump
No,
into commercial.
no, we're not. No, we're not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What the?
We're
Yeah.
about,
Okay,
we started at 2, man. Or the timer started at 2. We're 45 minutes
okay.
into the actual show, but we're an hour into our runtime. Uh,
Okay. Never mind. Forget. It's daylight
Yeah,
savings
see?
time. It's fucking my
oh,
mind.
you forgot to go forward an hour, huh? All right. So
No, I'm used to predicting. I'm used to forward calculating for the first couple days when
okay.
it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I had to restart my computer. Windows automatically updated my time.
All right. So I will only say this, and this will be the only thing you'll ever hear me say in defense of that man, Scott Buck. And this is my dirty little secret. I didn't think Inhumans was that bad. But then I never read the comics, so there was no reference frame for me.
Right.
I took it as it was, as a show, a standalone. So to me, Inhumans wasn't that bad. But I've never read the comic book, so I can't comment on those who take issue with it. All I can say is my dirty little secret is I enjoyed it. Go on, Sam.
I will say this. Okay, because the Inhumans, part of the comic book lore were more connected to the Fantastic Four, if anything, especially when it came to Medusa, Black Bolt, and of course
Lockjaw.
Crystal, Crystal Lockjaw, and so forth. So I kind of had to say, no.
No. Like I said,
Triton, nah.
it's kind of like Eternals.
They fucked it up. Yeah.
That movie is universally panned. I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed it as a standalone, not necessarily as a part of the bigger MCU, but as a standalone.
Yeah.
That's why it was so
And-
nice in Brave New World to see them actually address the events of the Eternals. But I feel you saying, like I said, you read the original. You have your issues. For me, as somebody who was never introduced really to the Inhuman comic books, this was my first introduction to it.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
consider it that
introduced
bad.
to. Yeah, it was the Fantastic Four that actually introduced
And
the Inhumans.
yeah. And for me, my introduction to the Inhumans was Cersei in the '90s Avengers run.
Oh.
So, but
Mine was 70s.
oh yeah, yeah.
Jeez, man, I hate you guys, bro.
All right.
Suck, man.
So, Anyway,
All right,
but yeah,
go ahead.
that's a whole other conversation. Inhumans and Eternals, that's a whole other conversation we need to have. So
Up.
take it away, Mr. Director.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into commercial break real quick. That'll be about a quick 10 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to go directly into SmackDown Alley, considering this whole segment was Pop Culture Corner.
Yeah.
Um,
I do have lots of interesting stuff, maybe about 10, 15 minutes to discuss, because we got some major pop culture stuff that just dropped.
okay, we'll jump
Okay.
back into it. Coming back in about 10 minutes. You are listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on twitch.tv/FirstGenXers. Peace. There it is.
Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfolk. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I've been real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah. Come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
Hey, what's up, y'all out there in TV land or Twitchland or whatever we're doing today. My name is Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. I am the host of Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom, as well as your favorite music show, KD5P. I'm here to tell you about the Live 365 lineup that we have coming up starting on February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd. We'll open up Mondays through Fridays with Now versus Then, Deuce, classic episode from the Blog Talk Radio days. We follow that up with an FU Wrestling podcast from Spreaker, starring myself, Double K, and your boy Cole. We follow that up with, again, me, Double K's Classroom, old sports show I used to do, 30 minutes from 6:20 to 6:50. We follow that up with West Coast Bias, myself, O'Malley Duel, and Suave, bringing you sports talk from a few years back. Then we have Now versus Then. That's the centerpiece of our day at 9:35 a.m. with a classic episode of Now versus Then. And every Wednesday at 9:35, you'll get a new episode of Now versus Then, Deuce from Twitch. At 12:45, you'll hear an episode of KD5P, K-Double's Fifth Period Music Class, that you can hear right here on Live 365 every Saturday night. And you can hear a replay of it every Tuesday night at 12, or Tuesday afternoon at 12:45. You can also listen to at 3:20 the Cheap Pop Podcast, followed by NBT Deuce at 5:30. Great episodes. Probably the same episode from the morning. Lip Gloss and Mike's has now moved to the 9:05 slot with a new episode of The Classroom on every Friday. And then we close out our night down and dirty with the Kings and Queens of Porn. That'll be every Monday through Friday right here on Live 365. Catch us at live365.com/First GenXers, or you can go to the Live 365 app, look for the First GenXers Radio Network, and that's where you'll find us. All this and more right here on Live 365. Peace.
To say Jaden Daniels has been fun to watch and getting to see him grow, because I think he is going to be a good quarterback. Yes. And so I'm happy that is one of the Monday Night Football games that actually could be a decent game. Yeah. I think I care more about seeing that game, and not just because of him, but I care more about that one than I do the earlier game.
All right, and it's Double K back with you again, host of the Cheap Pop Podcast in the Classroom, also your favorite music show, KD5P, and I'm here to talk to you about the Saturday and Sunday lineup. Last video we did Monday through Friday. This week we're going to do Saturday and Sunday. All these shows will be airing on Saturday and Sunday concurrently till about mid-afternoon, and then we go into two different lineups. On Saturday, Sunday mornings at 12:30 a.m., you get a classic episode of Brick House 2.0. Followed up by Lovely Radio, which is back on the air with First GenXers. And we have Mr. Deacon at 5:15 a.m. Sam Brett Radio now moves up from the 10 a.m. slot to 7:25 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, and the 10 o'clock slot now goes to Ms. Optimism, back with us again after a short hiatus. We follow that up with another episode of Lovely Radio at 12:10, and then we get San Brett one more time from at 2:45. You get about an hour and 15-minute episode on Sundays, and you get a full 2-hour episode on Saturdays. That episode will air right before the live episode of K Double's fifth period music class on Saturday nights from 5 to 8. Right here live on Live 365, where K Double brings you some of the hottest tunes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And then we close out Saturday nights with the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast from 8:15 to 11. So on Sundays, you go from San Brett to 410 The Classroom. 45-minute episode of an old version of The Classroom that we had over on Spreaker. And we'll follow that up with Dirty Talk 101 at 5:30. And we close out with 740, the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast, another great edition of me and your boy Cole. And we close out at 10 p.m. with the Sidebar. So thank you for listening or seeing me here on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. And join us on any one of our platforms here at First GenXers and Double KK Double Network. You got 2KK2network.com, my website. You also have the twitch.tv/First GenXers, and you also have Live 365 where you can find us or you're listening to us here. And we also have for those podcast folks over on Spreaker, a place where you can find the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom on podcast. And you can download it and everything. So that's it from me for this week. This time around, I'll be back again with a new schedule as of May 1st. But until then, y'all enjoy this lineup and stay up. Peace. And we are back. What's up, y'all? So, hey, I just ran the intro for Pop Culture Corner because Dave has a couple more subjects we're going to talk about right quick, and then we'll jump over to SmackDown Alley. So let her rip, Dave.
Okay, so first of all, off the top of the list, the month of the Grim Reaper continues as we have lost George Lowe, who I'm sure we all recognize the voice because he was the voice of Space Ghost on Adult Swim.
No.
From Space Ghost Coast to Coast onward. And dead at 67.
Wow.
Yep.
Like I said, when the ones that peppered your childhood are the ones that's passing away, that's when you know those three little letters start creeping up on you.
Yep.
Oh.
And also on a tangent to follow up from our obituary list from last podcast, we have more details about the passing of Gene Hackman and his wife. The autopsy has revealed that his wife passed away a week before Gene did.
Wow.
And that Gene was suffering from Alzheimer's. So she may have passed away and he didn't even realize it.
Wow.
Yeah. That terrible, terrible situation gets even worse.
So nobody was so basically for a week nobody was able to come take care of him. He was just wandering around the house.
Yep. Okay.
Wow.
So moving on.
Oh wait. There is one more for the for the obituaries, and I also I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the Wiggins family. for the passing of Dwayne Wiggins of Tony.
Yeah.
He's also an Oakland native. I had the opportunity to record him once. I had recorded a video that I posted about maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Um, he's a really cool dude. For all intents and purposes, he's a gentleman, scholar, definitely a one hell of a musician,
100%.
and absolutely, and he passed away from cancer. And for all men, ladies, or whatever the case may be, you need to get yourself checked out because I'm going to an appointment this week,
You bet.
and that is very, very important that we all stay healthy, and that
Yep.
because man, it's too many people from this generation that are going, and it's like, man, it's been the Grim Reaper has just been doing its work
Yep.
this whole
Taking
month,
them home.
these last
Taking 'em
few
home.
weeks. Yeah. So yeah, no doubt.
Okay. So,
Dave?
I'm trying to get my mouse fixed, but okay. So the next one we've got two Disney stories for you. First up, I'm saving the best one for last. First up, it's been announced that Jean Favreau, our
John
favorite,
Favreau!
yes, our favorite director, MCU Star Wars,
Happy!
yes, Happy Hogan,
Iron Man.
yep,
Yep.
and so many other
Mandalorian.
stuff. But John Favreau is going to produce in a animated Oswald the Lucky Rabbit series
Nice.
for
Nice.
Disney. Now, for those of you not in the animation history know, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was the character created before Mickey Mouse by Walt Disney and his lesser-known partner, Ub Iwerks. Ub Iwerks is basically like the Jack Kirby to Walt Disney's Stan Lee.
Right.
He was the lesser-known partner. The Walt Disney Studios were making Oswald the Lucky Rabbit for distribution by Universal. Walt decided that he never wanted to work on a character he didn't own anymore, and so he wanted to move away from making Oswald shorts. And there were 26 of them that were made.
Yeah.
So he wanted to work on his own character, and that's where he and Ub created Mickey Mouse. Same aesthetics, same other stuff, but they had a major falling out over Disney getting all the credit. Reportedly, the breaking point was at a party where a young kid came up to Walt Disney and asked him for a drawing of Mickey Mouse. He handed him a napkin, asked him for a drawing of Mickey Mouse, and Walt took the napkin and handed it to Ub and told the kid, "How about he draws it, I sign it."
Damn.
Yep. So, again, but that entire early, what's called the rubber fire hose portion of American animation, that was all of Iwerks influence. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
That's nasty work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and for those of you who are also into sports and wondering why Al Michaels went from ABC to calling football games for NBC, that was part of the deal that Disney made with Comcast, which is owned by Universal,
Right.
and also tied in with NBC. That was part of the deal that Disney made with Comcast in order to get the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit back to owned by Disney.
Nice. It's
Okay.
even affecting the sports world. There you go.
Yes, it is. And finally, we have the announcement that Star Wars fans, well, most of us have been waiting for, and that is that Disney is going to produce a Knights of the Old Republic series. We don't know who's attached. We don't know who's starring, who's writing, who's directing, who's show
If
running.
it's animated or live
If it's
action.
animated or it's live action.
Yeah,
all we
that's
know,
what I was gonna.
all we know is we're getting Revan.
Okay.
We are finally getting Revan in there. And
Now, it may not come out till we're all in our 60s, but we're eventually
know.
going to get it.
I'd say it's maybe 5 years down the line.
Yeah,
Probably
depending on if
few
it's
years
animated or live
earlier.
action,
Yeah.
yeah.
All depending. But also, with this announcement, it was proven once again that nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, because the internet was lit up with negative comments ranging on theories of how Disney was going to fuck this up, to they're just going to make it woke, to
Oh my God.
so many other. Yeah, I'm doing my scanners.
I don't know, man. This is about as bad as Amazon now owning James Bond.
Jeff Bezos owning James Bond.
Yeah, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, and people wanting Pierce Brosnan to be James Bond again. And Pierce Brosnan said, "I'm 71 years old." Well, no.
He's not Ric Flair, people. He's not Ric Flair, okay? Woo!
Okay.
I'll say.
All right. And
Yeah, no,
with that, Kev, Dark Lord 100, I will let you do your magic.
All right, so we're going to go on ahead and wrap it up there, and we're going to jump on over where we walk down that aisle, get in that ring, and find ourselves SmackDown out. Good job, Umberto. Awesome. Anyway, so y'all don't know, the animation is of a man in a whatchamacallit sweeping off the name, and then he gives the thumbs up. Totally
Yeah, I see it, and it's
Okay.
no.
All right, so let's start with Monday Night Raw, where we begin to see, and let me start this off before we get into this whole discussion about Raw and SmackDown this week, which both had some amazing things happen.
Oh, fuck yes.
I'll say, I'm glad that we have not heard from Cena or The Rock since Elimination Chamber. I think it builds tension, it builds storytelling. I'm glad that we heard from Cody Rhodes this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of people out there bitching that, oh Lord, why this bad storytelling? Because they should have just came out the next week and explained everything. No, this is much better storytelling. They don't have to explain shit. Exactly. And so we got 6 weeks till WrestleMania, 6 or 7 weeks till WrestleMania. So it's going to be a long build, guys. Like, this isn't going to happen instantaneously. But we saw some of the aftermath on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And
before we break all that down, I just want to say my favorite part of all of Monday Night Raw was the cutaways to the fan reactions to the end of Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, when they did the
on stage. Okay, it brought a genuine cathartic, warm feeling to my heart.
Yeah.
To see a bunch of 6 to 8 year old kids crying when Cena turns on Cody Rhodes. And it's like, oh, I hate you, John Cena. I got my Vince McMahon Ted DiBiase laugh on.
Uh, oh my God, you're
That's
killing
my
me here,
moment
Dad.
of that's my moment of catharsis.
All
But
right.
yeah, let's open hot on Monday Night Raw, shall we?
Oh yeah, we and that was amazing. You opened with a CM Punk promo for the ages, Punk giving
Yes.
it out to anybody and everybody that wants it,
John
and
Cena, we can't see you. We can all see through you now.
oh, I'm gonna bring up something that I loved with John Cena from WWE 2K25 when we get to video games. Like, yeah, I was looking through the roster and that shit. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, like, yeah, Punk gave it to everybody. Bald Fraud called The Rock. Like, yeah, and yeah, he lit up the.
Standing on top of the announcer's table while he's doing this. By the way,
Now I'm gonna say this. This was a trend of the night, folks. Understand this. People are not tired of the product. The product is not stale. That crowd in wherever they were on Monday was
Buffalo.
in Buffalo was dead as fuck. Like that promo should have gotten a lot bigger of a reaction and should have had the crowd fucking going wild. And that crowd was just fucking dead. And it stayed like, and it was like that throughout the entire night. Like the Raw gave us several great moments, and the crowd just gave us no reaction to them.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I just want to say that before people start putting that out. Like, it had nothing to do with Raw, with the product Raw, why that crowd was so dead that night. But
And
anyway,
I'm going to have something to say later on about stuff like that. But
yeah.
yeah, CM Punk goes on the pipe bomb of all pipe bombs in his career,
Yeah.
and
Gave it to
then
everybody.
all of a sudden, oh my God!
Well, no,
that's
he
Seth
mentioned
Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
He started.
Oh,
he changed.
that's
Yeah,
right,
he targets
He went to
everybody.
Seth Rollins. Yeah. And,
Then he brings it
and
back to Seth
Brandy-
Rollins.
Brandy, you better come get your husband before I find him. Because if
That
I
was
get
great.
to him first, you're going to be picking him
Or
up.
not Brandy, Becky.
Becky, yeah.
Becky, yeah.
He's
I was
gonna
gonna say Brandy is Cody's wife.
That's right, Becky Lynch, yeah. So you're going to be picking him up in a wheelchair. And then, like 2 minutes later, Rollins' music hits.
Yep.
And he comes out and
They didn't even talk.
let-
They just got
let
at
the,
it.
yeah, let the Donnybrook begin.
And
Okay,
you couldn't
they're
separate
going-
them.
You couldn't separate them. They had maybe like a dozen security and refs trying to keep them apart, and they were just diving back into each other, slamming each other, and it went from the announce table around the ring into the barriers, and then back around, and then back up the entrance ramp into the backstage before they finally get separated. And even then, like
went at each
what was
other
it,
back
maybe
there, yep.
Yeah, an hour later, maybe when you think that that's over, all of a sudden, Punk's walking backstage, Rollins is getting escorted out, and oh, they're conveniently going down the same corridor.
Yep. Adam Pearce. Bad
And
job,
then-
Adam Pearce. No,
Yeah. And so finally, Adam Pearce and his security guys take Rollins outside to his bus. And you want to know how serious it was? Seth didn't even say "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins."
he just came out and
Okay.
started fighting.
Yeah, just.
But yeah,
that's
no,
it. And we are ending up with next week. Is it?
Yep. Yes,
Yeah,
next week
next
it's
week.
Rollins versus Punk in a steel
In-
cage.
In a steel cage match.
Yep. Like
And-
it's gonna be amazing.
And the other big news that was match news that was announced, surprise match news that was announced was AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, will be facing Logan Paul.
Well, yeah, their feud. Yeah, I can't wait. They're building to a feud between them at WrestleMania, and
that's gonna
I
be
can't wait to
at,
see what it is.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be a WrestleMania is the next big pay per
I
view.
cannot
We're
wait for it.
we're officially in the home stretch to WrestleMania. There are no more pay per views or PLEs
Right.
between now and Mania. Only Raws and SmackDowns. So that's where
But
we'll
let's
get
get
all
to
of
the
our story.
scheduled matches.
But you also
Let's get
had
to
Otis take on Gunther.
Yep.
Great match.
Good match.
Jey Uso comes out, tries to clear the ring and tries to help out Otis because Otis was getting his butt beat after the match.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Jey got choked out too.
Yeah. They got choked out by Gunther.
Yeah.
Um,
After a distraction from A-Town Down and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I can also see this setting up a 6-man tag between Otis, Tozawa, and Jey Uso, and then Gunther and A-Town Down. Because they're trying to find something to do with Austin Theory and
right.
Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
We also had... What's up?
Oh, before the AJ Styles Logan Paul match announcement,
Yeah.
we had what was it, Karrion Cross talking.
Karrion Cross.
Yeah, Karrion Cross talking to AJ Styles, trying to do the Mr. Needful Things pitch.
Well, that's his thing. That's
Yeah, I
his
know
thing
that's
now
his
on
thing,
Raw and SmackDown.
but-
He
yeah.
tries to get you to come over because technically he has no group anymore because Akam and Razor have been released and so is Paul Ellery. So it's basically just him and Scarlett now. So I think this is building to him building a new faction. But he like eventually he's going to get some people that are going to be like, all right, and they're going to come his way, or he's going to but he's called it though. If you looked at it, he's called it. All the guys that he kind of been sneaking up on and be like, hey, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
they've all turned heel recently. Kofi and Xavier, dang it, I forgot who the other one was. The Miz, like they've all kind of turned heel recently.
The Miz, you don't
Karrion
need
Cross.
The Miz,
Karrion
you
Cross
don't
dropping them
need-
seeds.
That's like trying to outsmart Jar Jar Binks. Convincing the Miz to go heel, that's like Palpatine convincing Jar Jar
Well,
Binks.
He was a
to
good guy for a little
vote.
bit with the Awesome Truth.
Yeah, I know, but still.
And then we
I'm
had,
just saying.
we also had My Love, My Heart defend her women's intercontinental title against Ivy Niles.
My Raven Queen
Yes.
successfully defended her title.
Agent K28, what are your thoughts on Lyra in that match?
It was pretty decent. Given from what I've seen, they did take it to some good heights. Ivy Nile could have got around to the neighborhood of it, but of course, Akira still retained.
Yep.
So we get the gist of that, and that was a good decent match.
All right.
And the win was Lyra exploiting Ivy Niles' wrestling
Yes.
in there. She was like 4 moves ahead of Ivy Nile and set Ivy Nile up for the finisher for the Nightwing. So
I like Ivy Nile too, though. Like that was a hard one for me to watch
Yeah.
because I like Ivy Nile too, but not as much as I like Lyra.
Yeah. And then the other top women's match of the night.
Oh, wait a minute. We're skipping. That
Okay.
was the main event. We're skipping the tag team title match between the War Raiders and the
Yes.
Creed brothers, which was another
War
banger as
Raiders.
far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah. I am still absolutely amazed that Ivar can move like that in the ring.
Oh yeah.
He is. That is just such amazing for a big man.
Oh yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing with his brother. Like his brothers or the other
Yeah.
guy's a little bit smaller, but he can go.
Yeah.
Like
Eric,
they
he-
both. Yeah.
But Eric doesn't go nearly as much as Ivar does. I mean,
Yeah.
Ivar, we're talking, runs into the rope to move into a series of backflips back to tag the opponent. So, but yeah, that was a great fight. Um, you know, respect to the Creed brothers
Yeah.
for their heel performance. You know,
They
good
are. I
good
think we're
technical
leading.
wrestling.
I think we're leading to the Creed brothers winning the tag team titles at some point, just like I think we're leading to Ivy Nile winning the IC title at some point, but just not yet. Um, and then to me, which was one of the last segment before the main event was one of the best segments I've seen in a while because again, um, the son of the man who was the inventor of Steiner math is one of my favorite stars that they
Braun
have.
Breaker.
And now Braun Breaker has been targeted by the Judgment Day for his Intercontinental title. Finn Balor has decided, fuck the World Heavyweight title. I'm tired of losing. I'm going to go up to the Intercontinental title. And he's chosen that Braun Breaker is going to be his guy. And he tried to lure him into a situation where the Judgment Day could jump Braun and use the what do they call it? The numbers game against him, but
Yes, but then
yeah.
Braun knocks down Finn, and then takes down Dirty Dom and Carlito
With spears.
outside the ring with spears.
Oh, remember, people, whenever we talk about his spear, just understand this. They have clocked him at going as fast as 22.5 miles an hour before he makes impact. So
And
imagine
then-
getting hit by a brick
It's
wall
time
that's
for
traveling.
Steiner math.
That's traveling.
What do you
at
get when you take a 22 mile
22.7?
per hour in-ring speed, multiplied by by
And it
500?
still
That
doesn't
looks
give
like,
you.
and it hurts.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
That hurts.
Hey, I show Speed said he couldn't walk the next day. And
yeah.
I believe him. Like I believe him. The guy that took it in the Royal Rumble. And that led us to what was the most like unexpected result of any match that evening. The World Heavyweight Championship match, Women's World Heavyweight Championship match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, which was amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Monday Night Raw was definitely ladies' night. Guys were just there to build their heat, but it was the ladies that shone.
So here's
Absolutely.
what's funny about this match. Let's get straight to the ending of it in the fact that due to a Bianca Belair distraction,
Bianca
Rhea
Belair
Ripley.
wasn't even distracting. She wasn't actually doing anything. Bianca was just sitting right there next to the announce table. It's like, okay, I want to see who wins in there.
Yeah, no.
And-
Well, no, they had the back and forth where they pushed each other, and then she got her up in
but
position.
that was caused by Rhea
Yeah,
and
engaging with
cheering on Io Sky
yeah.
in there.
Well, no, what
And
I mean
that-
by Bianca Belair distraction is Rhea Ripley found herself
Yeah,
not by any fault of Bianca Belair's, but found herself distracted by the fact that Bianca Belair was there and talking shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it ended up causing Rhea to end up
Yeah. Rhea
flubbing
was-
up and losing.
It was pretty even, but I think it was like a 75-25 domination
Yeah.
split at the time
Yeah.
between Rhea and Io, with Rhea taking the 75%.
Yeah,
And
she
then-
had pretty much dominated her through most of the
Yeah.
match for sure.
And then Bianca's cheering on Io. Rhea knocks down Io for a little bit, and then gets out of the ring to confront Bianca. And Bianca, she doesn't start anything. She's got her hands up. Rhea pushes Bianca, and Bianca pushes back, and they're about to get into it when all of a sudden, from inside the ring, Io reaches down and starts to go work on Rhea to bring her back into the ring. And that was the moment everything turned around.
And Rhea, like I said, Rhea gets her in position for a top rope. What's her Riptide.
Yeah.
Screams something at Bianca Belair, and
Yeah.
it's enough of a distraction for
That,
Io to get her in position
to reverse
for
her and get her into
for over the
moon-
moonsault.
over the moonsault. Yeah,
Yeah, and Io Sky gets the pin 1, 2, 3. So
yeah. And
here's what's funny about it.
yeah,
yeah.
afterwards, Rhea, she's in the ring. She's so upset, and she's just go stupid, 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 stupid.
Yep. And she's going to, like I said, we're gonna see
Right.
an evolution of Rhea
Yeah. And
moving forward. I
speaking,
like that.
getting back to, we don't gotta explain shit. Um, not one word about Bianca about Naomi and Jade
Not
and what's
until
going on
Saturday.
there. Yeah,
Not until not Saturday. Not until Friday.
Yeah.
That whole thing. We're gonna get to that. But so here's what's funny about this match. Rhea Ripley has never beaten Io Sky.
Right.
NXT main roster, she's never beaten Io Sky. And I'm wondering, it's funny to me, I'm wondering like why they're keeping that going. Because I would have thought this would have been the perfect time to have her get the win and then to continue to show her dominance, going into WrestleMania. So either the plans changed for Rhea at WrestleMania, or the plans changed for Io at WrestleMania. But either way, I'm happy to see Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. I think that match is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And
it's gonna be amazing, high flying.
Oh yeah. So that takes us to Friday night, which was a
also,
whole.
can we talk?
What's up?
Can we talk about the Judgment Day promo that happened, where Liv Morgan is just showing off? See, this is where she hit me with her hair, and the welt's still there.
Oh, I didn't catch that one. I must have got it. What was that one?
Oh, it was before the Finn Balor ring
Oh,
match.
right before the Finn Balor.
Yeah, but she's just all purring and playing the wounded kitten to Dirty Dom and Carlito in there, and oh me, oh poor me, that's why I didn't win, and that. Yeah,
She's
But
just that girl. I tell you.
she is my favorite bad girl. I will admit, she is my favorite.
She's
bad
definitely
girl.
grown into her own, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
100% from where she was when she first started. She's definitely grown into her own. All right, so SmackDown saw a lot of interesting moments. We're going to kind of jump to the moments as opposed to dissecting every match.
Well, let's at least get to the one and only Randy Orton.
Oh yeah, well he opened the show. Yeah, we can get to him.
Yeah.
Like Randy opened the show with a pretty hot promo, as he comes out to explain why the hell he decided to come out and beat the snot out of Kevin Owens. And yeah, I'm liking what we got with Randy. I'm definitely liking what we got with Randy. As far as like he's bringing back the punt, man. He's bringing back the punt. I've been waiting for him to do this for years. Let me just tell this quick story real quick before we get into Randy's actual promo.
Oh, please do.
I used to kick it, like, there was a period in time in which, like, all my homies watched wrestling. Like, all of us. And we'd get together for major events. And then there were times where some of my band of friends would dip out. Like, they wouldn't really be wrestling fans. They wouldn't come over for Raw. They wouldn't come over for SmackDown. Well, this one year, right, it was kind of a down year for WWE. So a lot of my homies had kind of drifted away from WWE. And then we started, I don't know if y'all remember this. I want to say this was like early 2000s, so like 2005, 2006 maybe. Maybe 2004, 2003. But Randy Orton starts this thing where Randy Orton starts punting the shit out of everybody. Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, like Big Show. Like Randy's punting fucking everybody in the dome. This sequence of events of Randy punting these people got my boys back interested in wrestling, where when WrestleMania came up, everybody came over to watch wrestling. This is why Randy's promo on Friday was so important to me, because he's bringing back the punt. He was about to punt Kevin Owens in the head at Elimination Chamber before he was stopped. Now Randy vows to do it again. I think we were right a while ago when we said they're building to KO versus Randy at WrestleMania. I think that's going to be an amazing match. Mm-hmm. But I can't wait to see Randy punt him. Like,
and then you got to remember, he said, "I'm the second best punter since Pat McAfee." That shit was hilarious, bro. I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, we're gonna go there. We're
Yep,
gonna go.
yep. And so, yeah, man, like I can't wait to see how that's gonna play out because you know they're gonna. Triple H has been doing a really good thing recently. With all of his major feuds, he has this tendency to keep the two combatants away from each other for an extended period of time, where you only see one or the other one show up. Because if you have them brawling every single week, it gets boring after a while. So if you have them kind of steer away from each other and they're not there at the same time, or they just always slightly miss each other. Like you have these tense moments that never quite turn into brawls until like the last week before the PLE.
Right.
Right.
I think that what he's doing right now is getting back to keeping the pressure on to build the tension in the lead up to the pay-per-view rather than doing it so often in a way that dilutes the heat. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know. So, and it's also because they're doing lots of great stuff, but it's the pay-per-views where the high stakes you get the payoffs. You get the payoffs in the maneuvers. You get the payoffs in the "this is awesome" moments.
And
Yeah, the moments that make you go, "Holy shit!" Those are the pay-per-view moments, and he's got selling the heat without giving away the final burns.
and that's the key thing I like about it is like is like Triple H and here's the funny thing about it is I love it because Triple H is starting to learn how to work the dirt sheets. Like he's starting to feed the dirt sheets a lot of information, not necessarily false information, but he's figured out basically to put it lightly or to put it funnily, he's figured out where his mole is, and he's making sure to keep the important information away from them.
Right.
Like I said, one of the things I said last week was I read an article immediately following Elimination Chamber that described that nobody but Cena, Triple H, The Rock, and Brian Gershwitz knew that Cena was going to turn that night. Matter of fact, before the final segment, Triple H cleared Gorilla. So it was just him sitting back there. So and they managed to keep that to their vest till the very last moment and surprise everybody. And they're managing to do that. Jade Cargill, notice it wasn't leaked at any point during that week that, hey, there's a possibility Jade could come back at Elimination Chamber. Nobody knew till her music hit. It reminds me of back in the old days when K-Fab was real. When you didn't know, when somebody got injured, you didn't know when they were coming back till they literally walked out. Think John Cena at Madison Square Garden for that Royal Rumble. Nobody knew. There had been hints and stuff like that, but nobody knew for sure that Cena was going to be there until his music hit and the curtain went up and he was standing there.
Right.
Because the injury that he had, it was inhuman of him to come back in that short of time. So WWE is getting back to doing a really good job of keeping that type of stuff secret, and so this was another one where I think that he's doing a great job with it. We also had the first major moment in SmackDown was Naomi and Bianca having a face-to-face in the ring. Saint, I'll let you give your thoughts. You haven't said much during this SmackDown, so I'll let you give your thoughts first on this.
Okay, let's just face it. Since the attack on Jade Cargill, we kind of had to, kind of look at where everything was going. I kind of thought maybe she had the best intentions. Maybe she was being honorable. But then when she opened up and said what she said, it was like, what are you doing? Are you really going to do this?
What did
Naomi
she say?
was the best friend who was doing too much. Basically, Naomi said that she did it she saw Jade Cargill.
I did it for The Rock. Remember that shit?
She did. I'll say it like this to sum it up quickly. She did it because she thought that Jade Cargill was basically riding Bianca Belair's coattails, and that it should have been her and Belair to win the tag team
Okay.
championships. It
So
should have
in
been her and Belair to ride together, and that she was pissed because she thought Jade basically took all of that. So she took out Jade so that they could see the team come to fruition and all of that.
Okay.
But the critical moment of it, Bianca Belair has said, you know, I don't like, it's, yeah, I don't want to hear none of this, right? And she's like, nah, screw that, you were wrong, I'm good. And she's walking away, and as she gets just about 85% down the rap, Naomi's now having a breakdown in the ring. She's like, I did all of this for you. None of you people know what it's like. She's having a straight breakdown. And she turns to Bianca and she says, I did all of this for you, Bianca. You ungrateful bitch. Bianca stops, kind of takes a look back at the ring. As she's standing there and looking at the ring, the Titantron comes on, and it shows Jade Cargill's car pull up, and Cargill get out and start charging towards the ring. Cargill's walking down the thing. Naomi's still talking her shit in the ring. Cargill's now walking towards the ring. Her music hits. She walks out. She stops. She looks at Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair looks at her, kind of gives her a handle your business, and turns her back and walks towards the back. Jade Cargill rushes the ring and beats the snot out of Naomi, finishing her off with, what's her finisher called? Hit her with her finisher, and which reminds me of the one from Beth Phoenix. But she hit her with that and stood over her, music hit, and she walked away. So evidently, like I said, it's looking like we're leading to not Bianca Belair, but Jade Cargill versus Naomi at WrestleMania. Because I think at some point Naomi's going to disappear for like a week or two. Jade's going to get some momentum towards something else, and then all of a sudden Naomi's going to come back and like leg chopper, and I think we're leading towards Naomi versus Jade at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be something incredible. And
By
that's
the way,
gonna be a
something
good fight.
quick announcement, and I know this is sports related, but my jaw just hit the floor when I saw this, so I have to say something. I'll be talking about it later with O'Malley, but Devontae Adams just signed with the Rams.
Whoa!
Yeah. So we'll be talking about that and other stuff, football on the classroom, but I just had to throw it out. But anyway.
Okay.
The other sports news that is related to wrestling.
Yeah.
Veteran sports broadcaster, political commentator Keith Olbermann publicly called on ESPN to fire Pat McAfee after all the drama McAfee's been causing with the Canada America.
Okay. For those of
anthem shit.
you who don't know, just like they do at most sporting events, they played the Canadian national anthem and they played the American national anthem when they did the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Right.
When they did the American national anthem, they the people who
The Canadian-
the Canadian fans in attendance booed.
Right.
If
Just
you
like-
remember, at the beginning of Elimination Chamber, Pat McAfee mentions it and says some shit about Canada.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Going back even further, in what's called the Four Nations Hockey Tournament,
Yes.
when it was Canada versus America in Canada, the Canadian fans booed the American anthem because
Yep.
all the trade shit was just starting to be announced. And so that was that.
They don't like us up there right now.
Right.
Let's just leave it at that.
Then when the Four Nations came into America,
The Americans
And
booed the Canadian.
the Canadian national anthem,
Yep.
and then in the finals, where it was, and everyone was happy because, oh yeah, the Canadians booed our anthem, and then we beat them, and then in return, and then the Canadians were booing the American national anthem again and beat the Americans on Canadian soil.
There's bad blood between those two hockey
There,
teams.
there is.
But
There's a
for
lot of bad blood developing.
for hockey fans, it blew my mind because
Yeah.
ever since I can remember, they've always performed the Canadian national anthem and the American national anthem
Yeah.
at the beginning of hockey games.
Depending on which.
That's the beginning of, well, that also depends on,
Anytime.
well, I mean, that's when
Yeah.
you have to do the, even with the NBA games in Toronto and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, no,
and-
I'm just saying, like
MLB.
in hockey, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter whether you're in the States or if you're in whatchamacallit. They did it
Well,
at
no.
Sharks games. They
But,
played
yeah,
the
they do
Canadian
it-
national anthem and
yeah.
the American national anthem.
But they
It's
do,
just
but
at hockey.
what Saint and I are saying is that they do that for all international sporting events between.
Right, but what I'm
Canada
saying is
and
where
the
hockey
States.
is unique is that with football, if you're in the States, they don't do both. But if they're
Yes, they
playing in
do.
Toronto, no, they don't do the Canadian national anthem at football games. They do the
Okay,
American
I know-
national anthem.
I know that they do it in baseball whenever
Yeah, whenever they're in Toronto. But if it's
No.
Oakland A's versus Texas Rangers, they don't do the Canadian anthem.
Yeah,
Really?
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying.
Never mind.
Hockey's different. It doesn't matter who's playing. It can be a Sharks versus Detroit Red Wings game, and they still
Right.
play the national anthem for both before the game.
I've
That's where
never
hockey's
experienced
different.
that. I've
Or at
never
least that's what I
that.
experienced when I went to the Sharks game. We got
Yeah.
both. We got old Canada and the national.
I know that. Yeah,
And who are they
but-
playing?
They were playing the Phoenix Coyotes,
Okay.
or at least I
That-
thought maybe it was just because that was a playoff game. I don't know. Maybe it was unique.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've always
right.
experienced that the two anthems are played whenever an American and Canadian team meet, and whichever anthem goes first depends on
On where they are.
where they are.
Right.
If it's in Canada, it's the Canadian national anthem first. If it's America, it's Stars and Stripes, or it's Star Spangled Banner. Blah, brain farts all over the place.
All right, so we got a couple of quick ones that we got to hit here with SmackDown. You had Strowman win by DQ over Solo Sikoa because Tamatanga came out and helped, and then we had another face-off. I think they're building the Strowman versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania again. You had Chelsea Green and Meechin face off for the women's title match. Now, this match was huge, and it was a great moment for with SmackDown because Chelsea Green introduced a new member of her her secret Hervis or service Hervis. Like she's got her thrown in there somewhere, but it's her secret service. It was just Piper Niven before, but Piper Niven got beat up by Tiffany Stratton at the beginning of the show, so she was down, and it was Alba Fire of the Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, but she comes out and she helps Chelsea win the match, and then she does as she's holding Chelsea at the end of the match. So it was quite interesting. Saw her come in and perform a friggin' Mexican Destroyer. That was just amazing. But so Chelsea retains. You had Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso. And to me, that was just kind of a way to get McIntyre back some momentum after losing in the Elimination Chamber, after killing his momentum in the Elimination Chamber. The main event was the anime villain Shinsuke Nakamura versus the American hero Louisiana Knight. I'm never gonna let that go. That was one of the best R-Truth segments ever.
You know what? Let me just say that Shinsuke Nakamura is definitely still the man when it comes to the strong style. Okay, he is still doing a lot of shit kicking, and when his foot is in the air, it makes contact. I'm sorry, but it's just like, I mean, sweet chin music is pussy compared to some of them strong kicks, okay? And I love Shawn Michaels, the sweet chin music, but when it comes to Shinsuke Nakamura and he does that, and doing all that extra, with the face and all that kind of stuff, and it's like he really kicks the shit out of him, and that's it.
One more
Lights
announcement
out.
before we get to the results of that match. Congratulations to Lex Luger, who's finally being
Yes.
inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He was
About
told by
fucking
Cody
time.
Rhodes this week on SmackDown, and yeah, and so Nakamura lost his belt. LA Knight is your new United States champion for the second time.
Yep.
LA Knight. Yeah. So congratulations to him. But let's talk about that Cody promo. I loved it. I loved it. This is why it's good that Cody's the one that's going up against Cena, because Cody can carry the feud while Cena and Rock rest before they come back. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear from Rock. Like I think, who was it that said it? I think on the show last week that they'll probably come back next week because they're going to be in Europe.
It's going to be
So,
on the It's
so
going to
it'll
be on the 17th.
Yeah, so we'll see them. We'll see them back soon. No, I think they're coming back on Friday. Like this upcoming Friday is going to be in Europe. So like I think they're coming back on
the
Friday.
17th.
I think,
Yeah, which would be
That's-
the 17th.
no, the 17th is the following Monday. I know that because my
No.
daughter's birthday
oh,
is the
wait.
18th.
Yeah,
On
you're right.
Tuesday.
Oh well, the 17th. Well,
I mean,
yeah, you're right. Well,
It's
you know.
International
14th,
Day
the
now.
14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
14th.
all those time zones. Damn it, Kev.
So, but yeah, so yeah, I think they're going to come back then. But yeah, it's like I said, I think it's great that we're not going to hear from them a lot. I like the promo that Cody cut. Like I said, I don't think it was his best work, but in general, like I understood it. Like I got it. It was raw emotion, and to an extent, even though he knows it's kayfabe, even though we all know it's kayfabe, so on and so forth, I think there was a little bit of realism to that promo, which always makes promos great. And the reason why I say that is because remember, only 4 people knew that Cena was going to turn, which means that look of shock on Cody Rhodes' face was a true look of shock. He wasn't expecting that.
And so, I mean, considering that, he took those hits like a champ,
yeah,
and he rolled with it. That just shows the improv in there. That goes
hey, there's a
on,
lot of
man.
guys like when I was watching a documentary on Eddie Guerrero the other day, where they were talking about it. And who was it? I think it was Kevin Nash was saying like Eddie loved to call it in the ring. Is what they would call it. It's like where you don't practice anything. You don't talk much about the match before the match. You just call it in the ring. And I think that Cody Rhodes is somebody that understands how to do that and make it look good, and that he did. And he did a follow-up promo on SmackDown. You guys have any thoughts on the promo yourselves? No. All right. So then
he just said, my thing is this. What do you want to talk about? We know what he's going to talk about.
Yeah.
He basically said what he said.
Yeah.
And, he had his rant. Now we just have to find out when John Cena is going to make his response.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
no.
That's going to be a huge moment.
And that's going to
a huge
be
moment.
a fucking mega moment.
Yep. So, all right. So, with that, we will close. Dave, anything else?
No, but I actually have something before we get into video games, because
Okay.
it just reminded me of, I have a incognito tab open that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So, late entry into pop culture. It has been announced that we are getting a full-on documentary movie about the King, Jack Kirby, with
Nice.
the full cooperation of the Kirby estate. The filmmakers are going to have full access to Kirby's personal files, home movies, stuff that has never been out there in the discussion before. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's
All right.
I mean, just how
Woohoo. Can't
absolutely
wait for it.
how absolutely influential, and it's going to be called Kirby Vision.
Kirby Vision. Nice.
Yeah, but I learned about this on a news aggregator site where they put the headline as the king gets get a documentary, Stan Lee to take credit. You know, that's that's the harsh. And you know, we're talking about the guy who created uh, all of the original Avengers: Black Panther, Fantastic Four, Hulk, Silver Surfer, Thor, X-Men. You know, everything that Marvel built on. You know, and not to mention, of course, the classic Captain America. You know, with Joe Simon. I mean, that that was you know Cap punching Hitler right in the face months before America was directly involved in World War II. That was Jack Kirby's artwork, and you know we've got the story of after that hit the newsstands, Kirby in his studio in an office building, um, the receptionist called him up and said, "You have three gentlemen here to see you." And he heard over the telephone um, that these guys were shouting, "Bring us down that Jew artist uh, who did the artwork about Hitler getting punched."
You mean like
And
the one behind me?
yeah, and Kirby was Kirby was not a small guy.
Yeah.
Kirby is New York tough. He
Yeah.
was the definition of New York tough. And he just said, "Tell him I'll be right down," and went straight down, knowing it was a 3-on-1 fight. And he was ready to throw hands in the lobby. And of course, the three pumped out on him.
All right.
So, but yeah.
Some people talk big until they see what their opponent actually looks like.
Yep. And,
All right,
yeah,
so that's going to
that-
move us forward. And we're going to move into the final segment of the show. Well, not the final segment. All right. All right, and we're back. All right, so video game reviews.
I had
Now,
to.
go.
Okay. So, real quick video game news. First off, related to the night shift, there are rumors that Guerrilla Games is working on their next project. No information is available at this point. All that is known is that Guerrilla Games is in developing on an unnamed project right now, and the internet is basically speculating, and I'm 99.99% sure that they're correct on this. It's going to be the third Horizon game. They're going to turn the franchise into a trilogy.
Nice.
So
Nice.
no information about it yet, but I am doing my Horizon streams on Saturday night. So you want to see why the internet is excited about this? Come check it out.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
All right. So me and Saint kind of wanted to cap off or start off this video game segment today with the release, because both of us were lucky enough to pre-order. So we got the release. What was it? For me, it was 9 p.m. Thursday night. For Saint, it was midnight Friday morning of WWE 2K25.
So
we fail to mention that both of those times happened at the exact same time. So we technically got the game at the exact same time. It just seemed 3 hours earlier for me because of time zones, math, Steiner math stuff. Anyway,
Steiner man.
The four-phase time cube.
I would say both of us would give it, at least for me, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, 3.5, 4 out of 5. I wouldn't argue with either rating. Like I haven't fully dug into it. I've only managed to dig into the roster, and let me get to that real quick. I'm scrolling down the roster, and I come across this John Cena that I guess you can open up in the My Rise. and I'm like looking at it, and I'm looking at the character model. I'm like, what's wrong with it? I can obviously see it's John Cena sitting there like this, but what's wrong with it? And then all of a sudden it clicks. This motherfucker is see-through. He's invincible. You can't see him. Okay? Like they have a character for the My Rise of
Yeah,
John
it's
Cena
100. He has a
of
100
invincible,
ranking. He
yeah,
has a
of an
100
invisible
ranking.
John sinking.
Yeah,
John
Super
Cena.
Cena. You can't
That's
see him.
amazing. That was worth the $99 I paid to get the game. Like that alone was worth it. Like that was amazing. So I've only really had a chance to look through the roster. I played a matchup um, with my created character Damien Dart, which I told Saint this year this time with this one I'm creating an entire faction. So I'm going to create Damien Dart, Madison Dart. I'm going to create 3 more characters. Like I'm doing the whole Dark family. But anyway, and yes, they're all going to be on the island at some point. And then I checked out. I started checking out the My Universe thing. Pretty much all the champions are the current champions, with an exception for they have Bianca and Naomi as the current women tag champions, and it's Liv and Raquel. And then I checked out the My GM. Oh my God. I can't wait to go online with it. Like the only bad thing I heard about the online, and I told Saint this a couple of days ago, or not heard, but the only thing I didn't like about the online is that you cannot spectate or play the matches with the online. You can only sim matches. So that kind of sucks. But other than that, my GM mode, bravo. And they upped the max limit for when you're doing the drafting to 4 million instead of 3.5. But Saint checked out the other ones that I didn't, the My Rise and the Island. So tell us about that, Saint.
Right. All right, so with My Rise, I used so I have like 2 different characters. Of course, let's just really get island. The island is my main character that I created. His name is Thunderbolt Ventura.
That would be,
straight up.
that would be the island of relevancy.
No, none of that. But no, seriously. Goes through a few menus. You have a couple of matches. You have a couple of rivals already. They're fucking annoying, of course. But then you have to really kind of get through, and you have to build your momentum up. You're building up your points and so forth. So it's doable for right now. I can't really complain about it. The only thing I haven't touched is the universe just yet, but I have managed to check out some of the matches. And I promise you, the underground one is real.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I did a match which I lost, but it was, I thought it was 2 of the toughest bastards in the on the forefront. You got the Sandman, who who I definitely used, and then of course I used Ken Shamrock because he's the world's toughest guy, and then he's from world's baddest man. He's from Sacramento, so it's like even built like that. That fight was out of the ring several times, but it was like the Sandman just like he choke slammed me out of the ring, knockout, dude. It was over. It was straight over. No ropes.
Yeah.
So it's either a submission, you get choked the shit out of, or you get knocked the fuck out. And
I believe that you
that's
can
about
still pre-order as well, can't you?
Yeah,
Because the
I think
official
so.
release
Oh,
date
yeah.
is until next Friday,
Yeah,
the 14th.
yeah,
So you can still
exactly.
pre-order.
So
And with the pre-order, like Saint hit me to this. With the pre-order, you get the 5 DLC packs. I think that the deal as of the 7th, you no longer get the extra copy of WWE 2K24.
yeah.
So, but you get all the rest of the stuff, and yeah, I can't wait. Like, yeah.
Are you guys doing this on PlayStation 5 or Xbox?
Both.
Or-
Well,
He's on the 5. I'm on the
fi-
Xbox.
I'm on the 5.
Okay.
I'm on the
Alright.
5. Now I will tell you this because I ended up getting the Bloodline edition.
Yeah, I
Look,
got the Dead
I
Man
threw the
edition.
pennies. I had to throw the extra pennies on there because number one, you get damn near the entire bloodline, including the High Chief Peter Maivia, which I am definitely with that. I'm going to definitely play that whole
The showcase.
scenario.
Yeah,
That showcase is there are a few what ifs in this
yeah.
stuff. Um I definitely am down, I'm definitely down for whatever comes my way with this thing. With the My Rise shit though, man, the My
Off the hook.
Rise is really crazy. And the thing about it is that I can't give
Yeah.
you the storyline, but I will tell you this. It's like an episode of Raw.
Well, they didn't. They didn't. Unlike previous years, they don't have a My Rise for male and a My Rise for female. They have one My Rise that you can take either a male or a
Or
female
female.
into the storyline. So that definitely
Yeah,
makes it a lot different.
I took the female on the My Rise because you end
Yeah,
up creating other characters within the
yeah.
narrative. So
And there are certain
um
characters that are only unlockable through the My Rise because, as Saint told me a couple of weeks ago, or no, like early last week, all of the characters, and I was telling somebody else, oh John, I was telling Alpha, um, that all of the characters from the My Rise are now available as playable characters on the
mhm.
roster. So
Yeah, because
like, yeah, you get Psycho Sally, you get all of
Odyssey ripped
them. Yep.
because that was the first one. But but the thing about it is with this one, you really didn't have to do too many conditions. Like you had to, like last year in 2K24, where Odyssey Rift, you
Put it
had
through
to
the
fight
table.
Odyssey Rift, put it through a
Yeah.
table. With this case, it was just the win.
Just to win. Okay. They had
It was
different
just the win,
objectives.
but it was still, yeah, but it was still a tough ass match.
Nice, nice.
It was still a
So,
tough ass match.
so we definitely throw our thumbs up and recommend purchasing. It's definitely worth the money to purchase 2K25. And I went deep into the creative character this year. Like my look, bro. When we go at it, you'll see. Like my guy looks like a lot more unique this year than the standard guy that I had before. And just to give you guys, some behind the scenes news, we might be trying to put together a tournament.
Oh yeah, that's not some behind the scenes mystery bullshit. We are
Hey,
gonna
hey!
be
I'm pulling
doing
back
we
the
are
curtain
gonna
here.
be
Don't
doing
take my
this.
moment, okay? I'm pulling back the curtain. Damn it!
No, seriously, we
No, we
are
have talked about it.
one of the things that we are going to be doing this particular year with SmackDown is because Kevin, of course, is the one and only with the Xbox. I'm on the
Which, by the way,
PS5,
I'll be
but yet,
debuting WWE 2K25 this Thursday
yeah. And
on Xbox.
I'll probably be running them on probably maybe Fridays or Sundays or Mondays, depending on how it goes. But we're gonna be running different types of matches and stuff like that, and then eventually our wrestlers will be facing each
Facing out.
other.
Hell yeah.
And yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be fun, especially with the crossplay.
For sure. For
And
sure.
yeah, so
I'm here for
speaking
it.
of which, yeah,
Oh yeah. Dave, did you have some? You said you had some video game information,
Yeah,
right?
I got a couple of video game news. First of all, um, Discord is the messaging communication app that's greatly used in the gaming community, not
Mhm.
yeah,
necessarily the video game community, but the gaming community in general. Discord is exploring a Wall Street IPO,
Oh, they're
and
talking about going public.
they're talking about going public, and there is never a geek product that has been made better by a corporate buyout. That's all I'm going to say about that.
uh, he's got a point though.
Yep.
He's got a
So,
valid point. Like,
um, yeah, so that's the one big news.
okay.
Um, the second is that there's a little indie game studio called Zachtronics, named after founder and lead programmer Zach Barth. Um, they started off, they came to notoriety with the free browser game Infiniminer, which is really uh, it's what set Minecraft off from an indie game into an absolute global industry
Yeah.
in there. It showed the potential that Minecraft had. Okay, and then they made a lot of other. The whole thing is that their um, game style, there's a Bethesda style.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Zach like style, which is all about um, optimization of processes and refining inputs, ordering operations. It's basically making code programming concepts fun and accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
uh, there is a new game coming out from a huge chunk of the Zachtronics um, crew,
Mm.
and it's called Kaizen, a factory story.
Okay.
And it's all about you running and optimizing a Japanese toy factory in the 80s.
The things
So,
people will play as
yeah.
video games is beyond me. I've seen Goat
yeah.
Simulator. Yeah.
So, yeah. So what happens is you are making Gundams, you are making Valkyries, you're making, at the height of the mecha craze in Japan, you're making all these toys, of course, legally distinct copyright, um, but you're optimizing the process for making these toys, from like plastic suppliers to modeling how the individual pieces are manufactured and fit together.
Okay. Okay.
So
It sounds
yeah,
like it'll be fun for somebody. I just don't know about me.
yeah.
Like,
Well, that
Yeah.
is coming from, yep, that is coming from Coincidence,
nice.
developer Coincidence. So
Mm.
yeah, during the Japanese economic boom of the 1980s, he arranged the spacing and order of operations of the mechanical snap the head onto a robot toy or the battery onto a Walkman for as little time, power, and financial cost as possible.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yep.
Sounds awesome.
All
So
right.
it's an odd little thing to toss out there for video
Yeah.
games.
And then what you got there? So you got anything else for us?
Yeah, just one quick coincidence real quick. There is a fighting game, and I'm probably going to be playing this in the next couple of days. It's a one-on-one or a two-on-two. It's called Diesel Legacy, the Brazen Age, and it has a nice cell shaded animated type of game. It's across, let's just say, it's a if Cuphead and Skullgirl had a baby. The second encore. That's how the game is, and the special moves are really good. Like I said, it could be a one on one or it can be a two on two, but it kind of like they jump into the background. Kind of like how the game Guardian Heroes or Power Stone, they come into the front, back and forth, but it's on a 2D plane. But when there's special moves, like one girl, she's smoking a cigar. Her
Mm.
special move is that old school car drives in and busts up machine guns and then drives away. So it's kind of like a steampunk, kind of like 1930s type of game, and it's really really good, and I highly recommend it. But I'm probably going to be playing it sometime this week streaming because I got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to be streaming this week. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, especially WWE though.
Yeah, that's
See,
gonna be fun, fun. So,
yeah, that's going to be
uh,
really fun.
I'm gonna close the show on this before we jump into where can we find you next. Um, Bully Ray says Travis Scott has one coming for injuring Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber. Travis Scott deserves, quote, Billy Ray, Travis Scott deserves to have his mouth wired shut. It's when the mark in the ring all of a sudden decides that he's a pro wrestler and he knows what the heck he's doing. And that mark is Travis Scott. Scott decided that he's going to look like some fake tough guy in front of the world. You got one coming, Travis. I hope it's from Cody Rhodes. If it's not from him, I hope I never run into you one day myself.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He should have
Oh,
never stepped up into that arena. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like,
uh,
I was
like I
totally
said,
against it. Yeah.
I like I
Sing
like
your
I said, we
songs,
walked
dude. Sing
yeah,
your songs,
we walked
motherfucker.
away
Sing
going
your
Travis
songs.
Scott. I don't understand what your purpose was there at all. Anyway,
Okay. Just because he does a theme,
yeah,
he does one of the wrestling themes, dude. Like, no. No.
no.
Sing your songs, stay on the mic, stay the fuck about the square circle.
Keep them blunts in your mouth and stay the hell out the wrestling
Yeah.
ring. Anyway,
you know,
all right. What's
and
up?
I just I would not want Travis Scott anywhere near there are civilians on scaffolding. Just
Uh-huh.
saying.
Uh,
Okay.
so, all right. Y'all know what segment is last. Where can we find you next? The NPR segment where the three gentlemen from the Cheap Pop Podcast let us know where we can find them next. There
All
we
right. Dave.
go.
Okay.
All right,
So
gentlemen. Or Saint, kick us off. We ain't heard much from you this
Oh, I'm
episode, so
kicking
you
off
kick
today.
us off.
All right. So, this evening, sometime after 10:30, I may be streaming something. We definitely won't be doing an episode of MBT Deuce, not until Tuesdays, but I guarantee you that's going to be jumping off or now versus the end, whichever the one will come first. But I'm definitely going to be streaming a game tonight. Probably will be streaming the Diesel game, or possibly if my partner gets in on this one, I will be looking at the game Split Fiction. So, because that's the one I really want to get into. You guys need to check that out. And
Split fiction.
because if yeah, because the thing is that you can one person can own it, but you could download a friend pass and you can play with that person the entire game.
Nice.
And it's cross play.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
I'm
look
really
out for
looking
that.
forward to that.
For sure. Room Scribe, where you at?
I will be back tonight on the night shift, slinging through the skyline of Manhattan with Spider-Man. As things are getting a little more deep, going to be running maybe about 50-50 side quests and game content. So, or storyline content. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. And then finally, it's me with what's kind of a big announcement. There's going to be a shift coming up in the next 2 weeks. Barring that I pass my exam next week, this will probably be the last week when I'll be occupying the 8 o'clock hour on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. No, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I'll probably be moving those to day streams. My potential new job has me working 1 to 9, so I won't be able to do those streams at night. But if
Pacific time, you guys.
Pacific time. But if I do miss a daytime stream, I might just jump on right after work at 9:30 and run for a quick hour before Dave jumps in for whatchamacallit. But that's if my morning is busy. But most likely I'm moving that switch to the morning. So join me for my last week of running the prime time on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays right here on Twitch TV with the gaming. You can actually see me, yay, because I got cameras for both my PlayStation and my
Pacific time, you guys. Pacific time.
Yes.
Remember that.
8 p.m. Most of our viewers are Pacific time now. Y'all know what time I'm on. Y'all see the schedule. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. So y'all can catch me then. Y'all can catch me in about an hour and a half when I come back with the one and only O'Malley as we talk. There are a lot of hot topics with the NFL and NBA right now for tonight's classroom. So be sure to tune in for that. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch TV. All right. Other than that, that's it.
Okay.
We want to thank y'all for checking us out. We love every single one of you. We appreciate you tapping in, and we will see you guys next week, as they would say back in the olden days. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on the Cheat Pop Podcast. Let me know when we're good, Saint.
All right, just give me just a second. Okay. Hold on. All right.
There we go. Peace.